There have been many well thought out, well written videos made about Severance, taking deep dives into the psychology, ethics, and discussing all of the intellectual issues raised within the show. This is not one of those videos. Severance is a masterpiece, not just for all the depth and intrigue of the story that I mentioned in the intro, but the set design, cinematography, acting, and... Seriously, if you haven't seen the show, you need to give it a try, and stop watching this video right now, because I'm about to spoil things for you. Everyone who watches this show seems to come away from it talking about the highbrow aspects of this work of art. All that kept going through my head during the first watch through was, these people have never shagged.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Nah, but in all seriousness, think about it. You wake up on a desk in a funky conference room not knowing who you are or how you got there. That lack of memory of your past also obliterates every relationship you've ever had from your mind, either romantic or platonic. Mark says,
I find it helps to focus on the effects of sleep since we don't actually get to experience it.
the Innies would feel the benefits of a good night's rest. Their outies' exercise and diet would affect how they function from day to day. But would that even work with physical touch? When we experience physical touch, our brains release oxytocin, which is one of the 4 so-called feel-good hormones, along with serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. Interestingly, music also boosts oxytocin and is one of the carrots dangled in front of the workers by the company. They do well at their mysterious and important work tasks.
The work is mysterious and important.
And they earn music. In theory, the Lumon workers have ready access to dopamine, the reward hormone, by completing whatever these tasks are on their cool retro computers. Endorphins are released when having a laugh, so the worker drones could also get these during their inside lives at work. Serotonin from the likes of sun exposure and exercise should stay in their systems throughout the workday. Not that there seems to be much sunlight in the Lumonville town they live in, but oxytocin only stays in our systems for a short while. So even if the outie gets some early morning delight, the effects would wear off for the innie fairly quickly, and emotionally speaking, they are still going to yearn for human contact and affection. The innies are touch-starved, and the longer they've been down there, the worse it must get. But oxytocin is also important because it combats cortisol, the stress hormone. So the worker innies are stressed out, affection-deprived amnesiacs. Lumon discourages personal relationships, and for good reason, but they couldn't stop PE from making a map of the facility, or several members of MDR from reading that book, so it is feasible that workplace shenanigans could very well take place. Let's imagine for a moment that Dylan and Helly started a relationship. Dylan has at least one child on the outside, more if Melchek is to be believed. He could be cheating on a husband or a wife that he doesn't even know he has. And on the outside, Helly is...
I am a person. You are not.
Pretty horrible member of the 1%. Can you imagine her reaction to finding out that she had a sexual relationship with an innie? Someone she doesn't even consider to be a real person? It would get messy real quick. When the gang is awake on the outside at the end of the first season, we are shown that outie Irvin has been repeatedly and obsessively painting the lift to the testing floor, drinking coffee and depriving himself of sleep. He knows that his innie and outie selves share a subconscious, and is trying to get a message through for his innie to investigate the testing floor. The answers lie in that direction, and it seems to be somewhat working. Irving daydreams about the pain everywhere in his exhaustion. The message isn't coming through loud and clear, but it is seeping, or should I say leaking, because that shit is everywhere, into his innie's thoughts. If the two halves of the worker bees share a subconscious mind, then the usual daydreams about romantic and sexual fantasies have got to be present. Dylan says,
I like to imagine my Audi's love made with a MILF or two, which is obviously badass, but I do pity the husbands.
so we know there is some sort of fantasy daydreaming or imagining going on down in MDR. And then there's whatever the hell is happening at that waffle party. Something I did not pick up on whilst watching was that that waffle party was meant to be more than just a strip show. It was only during research for this video I came across this Variety interview. According to creator Dan Erickson, the dancing during the waffle party we see Dylan leave would have turned into something more. This prize is given to the top employee quarterly, so I was wrong. At least one person is getting to smash, up to 4 times a year. Which brings up even more ethical questions about the Severance project. Are the sex workers severed? Do the workers' spouses of outside know that they are being rewarded this way? Do the outies, who as we've seen consider themselves the real versions, even know that their innies are having intimate relations while in there? In episode 3 there's a news report that alleges an innie got pregnant during her first month of being severed. Was this a waffle party baby? Personally, having no idea who I was on the outside and no memory of having ever been intimate with anyone ever, I would probably pass on the opportunity to get physical with strangers in masks. But hey, that's just me. I'm not here to kink shame anyone. Let me get depressing AF for just a second. They can't even remember their parents. They have no memory of anyone ever holding them, being proud of them or supporting them emotionally. No memories of Christmas morning magic as a child. No grandma's cooking. No first kiss. No winning the game and cheering with friends.
It's beautiful. It almost makes me wish I remembered my own childhood.
This is the truly horrific part of Severance for me. That and Adam Scott's dancing. And yet, without all of these life-defining moments, with no real autonomy over their lives, the innies are still good people. They band together and help each other when they find out about Dylan's kids. They still chose to be kind. In Helly's case, her innie appears to be a better person than her outie. Take away the entitlement and spoiling she would have experienced since birth belonging to a mega rich family, and she is a fierce and caring person at her core. And that is the truly great part of Severance for me. If you're looking for my review of Severance, 9 out of 10. Could have been hornier.